까마시 제일 레스다. 감 아니 디 단당 롭제 나디 노림니월이야 단당 같이 롭제기 롭이와 디 낭로리야 롭제 수행 루가 참마기 투미레레 차기하로나 루가 참마기 투미레레 차기하로나 그지 그래 투미레레 투미레레 차기하로나 okay so it's everywhere okay tadine macha shara kengye na chagyano na kengye jushi kengye na those two groups
Okay, those are the only two that are?
yeah kengye biology
Biology, okay.
ani wangza na chagyano na wangza ra ji ni sum shi oh therefore wangza ra nga 달로로 알레다 연계에 달로로 깽에 인게 차지하는 깽에 okay so definitely those two biology 달로로 왕자에는 차지하는 달로로 왕자 지니 숨르도 왕자 숨 라서 안 달로로 노감 당지 okay, so I'll move around these 1, 2, 3, 4 table.
I'm going to those two tables.
갱유다 왕이 차지하노나. 갱유다 왕전이 차지하노나. 갱유다 왕자. 루가르는 미래를 차지하는 되기도. 직니 숨쉬야.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Okay. So I go to this 3, 4. Okay.
We want to just give feedback on the proposal.
넘버 소개 단다 디 롭진 레저 샤시 소개 줘라. 딜라 gelang이 꼬르게 없지. 아니 다 롭진기 샤시들이야. 섬주서라. 다 랭이기 섬주 표현이.
Do they know that your background is engineering and physics?
Maybe not. I don't know.
Okay. Then what is the first? That back table. Did he find it from someplace or he wrote it? Okay, nice. So when do we want to do this? Is this just in general? Because they haven't taught yet. Have any of them taught?
They taught the last lesson.
Okay.
But they all teach. So.
Oh yeah, they all teach. Okay. Okay, so we've talked right now about rubrics to evaluate your students and to evaluate your peers. We also want to remind you that rubrics can be used to evaluate yourself.
다 단다 버든가 수카리셰레세나 미츠기 리무티 페체 땅데테 아니 수수고 롭투라 자샤칸라 스테고요메타 아니 수수고 록팔라 자샤칸라 트레고요메트가 스타요레스 테나 싱게 아니 단다 미츠 리무티 페체 땅데테 수수라야 자샤트야데나 용그레스.
So this is not a rubric per se, but it's a way to organize how you want your own self-reflection of your practice.
Tadaya de kasa mugse rimu tatachi mares imbaina ya so ke chetante la ya ani samshi chia choro susu kandas chindu se te kan la ya samlu ta ta samshi chia che tu zuwa chires.
So can you just take a few minutes in your notebook or on the computer and think about one area that you think you've done well within developing curriculum? That means the content of your teaching, your instruction, that means your approaches to teaching, and your assessment. That's how you're collecting assessment information from your students. And think about when you, because all of you are teachers, so just think of one lesson that you've taught as you're reflecting on this.
tanda de chitaro ches ro ane chesu go thomsen chi tripa ro ta thomsen chi tripa ilab chi zu ala tene de thomsen chi tripa tela tene de ane susu yapu chi sach ro susu kange chi la yapu chi sach te taro ches ndite gatna do lo de lo la gatna do ane chigitil habshi ga gangla chi sach che nyote ane lobchi chi ate gangla.
And also think about one place you want to grow or improve in your teaching.
Teaching meaning curriculum.
A curriculum, instruction, and assessment.
Rwa, ta tanda te tang shola ya, tamputi la ya susu ka kari chile ya puchi sha asti ya, lapshi kangle kangile ya puchi sha, lopchi chiya kangle kari ya puchi sha, jeshi chuya chigorwa, yusha tanga la sopa kangle kari ya puchi sha teshi che, nyua te la ya, ane susu ka yerji tango sa kari chingdu usrwa, te ya, kwa lasana, ane lapshi che, lopchi che, ane jeshi simcha kangla ya, yerji tango sa kari chingdu te troches.
So you gave a lot of feedback to your colleagues. Now it's the time to give yourself feedback.
Ta tanda bata ane susu ko ropa la ya ane ko chi lani ko gongsu te mambo chi sonsha yores ta tanda kar chi gores na susu la ya lani ke ne samsite shu gu yores.
So maybe just spend 5 minutes on this? Yeah, 5-10 minutes? Yeah.
Oh ya kama nga ne choose pe che tanda tan de tro che sa. Desa. Kusa?
So funny. No, it's like, did you hear me? Did you hear me?
Then what I'll do is say, okay, now one thing you're missing in your proposal is only one group pattern that was good. It's one of the ceremonies. Any time that they've taught, it doesn't matter. Some doesn't go. But you're really like,
What did you ask them to do?
I said, anytime you taught, this table has not taught the proposal lesson. I said, pick any lesson.
Maybe to be show them the next couple of slides that might help.
No, you know what we should do? Why don't we say for us? Why don't we model it for them? One area I did well. Let's just think. Okay.
You can just type in.
No, I'm just trying to think out loud. I want to do by myself and for both of them. Curriculum, if you say, I've done a good job. Oh, I know. One place we want to grow is we want to add more C learning. Let's model this. I think they're struggling with it. I'm going to make a new slide. So if I copy. Oh my God, it's trying to reconnect. I don't want to do it out there while they're. Hold on. Okay, let's just, while my computer is slow.
I can do
Wait,
it.
yeah. We're going to model it for them. They're having, I'm going to tell them what I think we've done well, where I think we need to grow.
Do you want to like do you want to directly demonstrate?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to just tell them how I would fill this out for myself.
Yeah.
Because, okay, so one area that we've done well.
Because they're looking at this slide. What I mean, like first let them do.
Yeah, but we can hide the slide. Okay. Can you hide it?
Wait, you can see it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. Then it's okay. Just
So
write
what-
up here for Mina and Tenzin. So they know Mina and Tenzin's response. Okay, let's just quickly. Okay.
Sarah.
Okay. So for curriculum, one thing that we've done well, let's see.
I think we have done well in all of these things.
Well, okay, let's do where we want to grow. Oops, somebody's already in there. So for one area we want to grow is add C, integrate C learning. Okay. For instruction, maybe, we haven't integrated, where do we?
Someone deleted it.
Oh, their name, yeah, because they realize that we're filling it out. So for instructional approach, maybe one thing is, I would say Mina wants to do more outdoor education, but it's too hot. You know what I mean? Or we want to do more debate, but there's some time constraints or something like that. There are time constraints, we haven't done it. Okay, for assessment, they cut assessment.
Yeah. They put it back.
Or maybe you copy it from up here.
Okay, that's good.
For assessment, maybe we can say that, maybe we want to improve the rubric for debate. We didn't create a rubric for debate. I don't know, this is what I think. What about you?
Yeah.
Or for posters, we never created a rubric for them.
But we didn't ask them to do debate, right?
But we have asked them in the past. I mean, for me, a curriculum thing that I would like to do is I would like to add more public health. Public health that is related to environmental public health. To me, I feel like that is really, I've talked about that multiple times, but to me that is combines all of these topics, and maybe something we did well is to introduce them to climate change last year. And public health, just a little bit. Instructional approach, I think we used lots of different, we modeled what we talked about.
And I think assessment, I think we explored the assessment they already used in the model.
Okay, yeah. And maybe for assessment, where do we want to grow? Maybe we want to continue helping monastics learn how to use writing. We already know how to use things, but maybe we want to, add more detail on helping them to develop use writing as an assessment. Because then if they see that we are being kind of humble about our own teaching, then they can be too. And just add the word assessment in that top. Okay. So have all of you finished? Yes? Yeah. Okay. Are you done on the table? Can I go to the... Oops, where did it go? I have to go out and then go back in?
Yeah, the next one. Think so, that one? Yeah.
So we've asked you to be reflective practitioners, reflective teachers, and so that's what Tenzin Sonam and I are trying to model by filling out our own self-evaluation table.
Ngaran again the topic of the Susuge, Chilomson Chat and Teganlaya, Yansi Samlutanji, Lochi Tangure said, Tenado, Yansi Shigio, Tina Shingatu Chitula, those 10 years, that Tisha deta, Tanadelaya, Yeten Samutangaran Shagi, Ngaran Chalaya, Susu Trebatan, the Shisha data, and Telaya, Nature and Tanda, which is Tanji, Jachet.
So, for example, one area of curriculum that we think that we did well is last year we introduced the topic of climate change and public health, which are two topics that also affect physical and mental health.
Namsikin Jedota Chotankolaya Nanula Dusungoto Chitkiores, that they Yahuchonshas, Teacher Game Bana, than the Namsin Jedota Chitokotante in Bananga, so Chigita, Lusimge, Dentalaya, Shuchin in Shagdus.
But how we would like to improve is to continue adding examples of environment related to public health, as well as curriculum around social, emotional, and ethical learning. That's the C learning into the curriculum.
Hantatilaya, Alhabji Chani Yajetangwa, Karido says Tambalaya, Ne Koitandawe, Chitotenge, Netun Dinado, Kasap Chiare, Ko the Jiman Tayare, Tinan Shinging Asuge, Sishun Lopsuchi Orwa, take it to Tapian, and then Ataliam to that Drugiate, and the Yajetang nature in those.
In terms of instruction, we feel proud that we have modeled the approaches that we've actually taught you about, so we're doing what we're telling.
aha ta loptri chini bana chi yang ko yapu chi sa chi kar do se na chi dinda chi gore se chi sheju te ane laglan la dus tar sha yes chetsula ngus dus ten sha yes ta tin stambala ya shepa na jin chi drisha yes ro dinda do chi gore se she sha yo tin na je drip sha yo chetsula dus pesen ten thi yes ta te yapu chunga ki loptri gi chi tang ten yapu chunga chi res
Like I'm doing now. We're asking you to self-reflect, so we are also going to self-reflect.
aha ta tanda chi bana shere singe su gi bana chetsula ya su ge ne kanda chi yo me tinga la ya samne tang ro chi la sha re tina she nga su gi bana de la ya su ngola samne tang de tang te tri yes
I think for me, this is my teaching philosophy that no teacher is perfect. And we need to model for our students that everybody can continue to learn.
aha ta ngara bana ngara ge gen chi bichane ngara ge gen ge tatrite karin se stambala yang topic ge gen chi yo mare se tins ta katu bana ya su ge ye ta yo pata ani loptu sula treshen yo loptu sula ya mukpi tension su la ye ta yo ju ge netan tin chi la ngara ge gun chi yes
So in terms of instructional approaches, we would wish that we could have done more outdoor education and more debate because then it keeps all the monastics very active. However, these take time and the weather is so hot, it's challenging to go outside and be active outdoors.
aha ta lotre thamlin chani yerji tanggu sa chi karidu sena chi chirgi bana chi chula dolang mant chi chi ta te na jeng ya cholo la do de ta cholo ke chi yang che gu de ya de do ngutu chi go sam gu yor da bana ya ko namshi ge chi namshi chau yo pa namshi ge chen ta ya chen da so yang chi da mam pola te de ta tan de choma sons de yerji ta ya ge ni chi rendus.
So in terms of assessment, we are pleased that we've explored assessments that are already used in the monastery, especially talking about debate. However, we wish to continue helping all of you developing writing as an assessment and developing rubrics to help you with that. So we feel happy that we've done some assessments well, but we know we need to continue improving.
aha ta cheshu gu thane ta ba na cheshi gu thane tanda chesu ge gomba nang la ya namjin pe chu tangaya ge te ta kana ro chu yome ge ne ta jilun chi jong sons te apu re sons picha cha ba na chesu ta dolang chi ta zu chi ge yor wa te ta la ya chi jilun chi ge te ya go jong sons ro ane shenda chi yerje ta chi ka de system la ya ane chesu la ya ane chi zomi ge tri ya te sugro da zomi tri ya te jemala jikto ge na chi thya sugro da yo ya ta ane te na sing ge ane tinda do ge jikto ta ba na zomi tri ya la so pa chi ba na te la ya jacha tri ya la ya nga chu mu se ru mu zu ya chi ro wa o te ta yang ko yerje ta te la ya en tan do yerje ta sa ne chi rendos.
So we have time for maybe two people to share. If there is one item where you want to grow and you feel comfortable sharing it with the class, is there anybody who would like to share something?
aha ta chechu na ne su ge yerje tang ko sa ge ne de rendo sa te na ya chi gen zan na la ya shen ni tu ni te na yo ya sa yo ba na mi nis la ya dus ko ke pugins ayo sa.
So I can randomly call on a table?
Yeah.
Okay, we have some volunteers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Over there one, over here one.
tandang nge zinde tri nanor danda di jidang lapsi go chewa ina lapsi lobjen charge jidan joro di da ma kurim didan tada ya ora jangana developing more jidora ini ya ta di nanor danda lapsi kuran nanor nangde khaseo yo ya di yarge dang go an da na sing ta di nanor zinde tri go chego ne tingwan ni sum cheore chego die chiri go ya da chi ma ngode che joro di jimba dinde chego di chego di khaseo so ya di ta so so ya je dang le chi this tongzora ta lobji na lobji chidi kable thi
This in my class I am happy with the organization of my curriculum, and also something that I need to improve is the clarity of instruction, also clarity of the activities, the steps and the activities that I can improve.
Yes, so giving directions. That's a very good example. Most of us can always improve on giving directions.
Da da lamton che chi goro ka su zu ta she gu du pa na din de chi gu zu ko lamton che chi goro o tere sa ti nga su ka tim ba na ya ji ta yo sa ni chi res.
안 되니 단다 롭지 나로 제바나 롭지 뒤인 다 윤제죠라 아주 까마시 시행하도록 뒤에지 어디 뒤에도 참고로지다 안 지구이나 지구 망유 렘버다 초대지나라 니도 인데 지도서 먹고 망유 렘버를 통솔하다 다디나로다 야고 중에 내려오시 다디나로다 여제동에 디나로 가르드는 다 지구 지구가 뒤에 되어져라다 배는 제고 당부들이 뒤에 디감지야 니네 뒤에 디감지에서 그 뒤에 당진 제죠 다디 여제 당고에 차례도 인데 디다 냠돌에 니아서서 디나로 냠돌에 단다 다 마음발이야 지 여제 당고서 아니 지 가산라와 나시 근데 좀 더 어디데 주시 충분들이 주고해로다 아니 지 단다 제심 나노래 단다 지 윤내 제시세 아주 단은 가 티비컬로 윤내 제시랑 마도 지 근데 초등 제시 개주면 말다 마음을 대디 로쟁이 주딜이 아니 초등 제시되 야고에 대한 건 이야기했던 거들이 통해서
for the instruction the duration of the class period is 45 minutes. I think it's really good, and we did well with that. Also, we have like a couple of one or two activities down that period, and it went well. But something that we can improve is time management. For instance, like the allocation of time for each activity that we can improve. And for the assessment, we usually have some kind of formative assessment, but during the class period. And also I would like to have some summative assessment at the end of the class to see if they understood the lesson.
Thank you for sharing the feedback about time management. This is so common across classrooms. How many of you raise your hand if you think you can improve on time management in your own teaching?
Hada danda de la ya gela ge chiso tangzhen che ge sigura da chiso kana no chite go de tangzhen che te kola ke chi sons da te pe te mangpu chi la kang ge thya ge ne ton sha go res da chiso na ne wa da chiso tangzhen che te thela da yarji tangsan du samji su yes la ba chang ro che sa.
Yeah, because sometimes we are over-ambitious in the amount of information we want to cover, and our students need more time to actually process.
Ta cham cham la ya kari ong gre ses tam bala ya nga su be ta chson dina chikna ta ngi dina mo puchi thike se samlo na ta tinda chigi yores himba na ya loptila les tam bala ya loptila ya ni sa data khutsu ge samlo na la he la chu tile mong gore ge ni ton den jongres.
So one thing I like to remind my mentees who are young teachers, beginning teachers, less is more. Have less content and do a better job teaching less content.
Ta ngarang ge chi lamtun chi sa ge loptu sukura ta phila gi gin ta sawa chhani kusula lamtun kari chi go se na ta keche she te in less is more like nywa te mores ta te kar se go se stambala ya जोशी शीटा पा न्योन्यो चितिसो मांपोच कना तले पितापु तको राटो यापु चित के तले या छजतानो चिस कुचला लामतन चिगे यस.
One more person wants to share?
या गेला
ngadi ngama di ngazo pedagogy gi lobse na lola magi komba khana ngazo dus lobse ma the gi rimba chi dis ngazo ngada di robot di dus ranju dendu dus ma the ranju dendu bi ho gela o di dus the gi ani ko khap chi yola ani ti ngarang ta
correction or pedagogy te thya
pedagogy ngazo lobti the jar mage o di lobti che kala ngazo ranju dendu ngazo phinju gi na no ranju dendu dus che ngazo lobshi di ranju dendu ani te lobti gi rimba di kala ngazo te thye kala ngazo chego da tan sir chego ya khani sum dus tan sir dus chego the sa ta ti ya che lobti di te che ba te pa gi chi shi kala ni ngazo tinala ngazo damang gi thiwa tang ani pa gi tamshe che chwa tang ti che chi tangarang ma ya po che ti do chi
ani yarji tangosa
ya ta di ta mo bola ta chada andar ranchu den do chi jima phinju khorong ke ta chi kho ke nam sha khorong chi che an tian da ta ngazo chi ani da ta jigo ke nam sha ta dan sar tuspa lupti che che ani chi shi che de la ta da ngazo di ande ngazo rubric kharza mixer remix da ani da ta de shamba cha jungde series lai to ge performance level lai de o ti ni ko ne to shine ani mo bola to che cha shi
natural lesson on natural selection. What we did well is we taught the the lesson with activities. We included activities like 3 activities. It went well. We have also assessment during like presentation or sort of stuff. It went well. Something that we can improve is we can include more activities, and we also have more assessment, different types of assessment. Also, we can improve rubrics to assess the grade, the assessment. That's something that we can improve.
Good. So one thing that we learned is that students like activities. It keeps them engaged. I see here, even if we keep talking, after some point your head feels full with words and you don't actually know what it means for you, right? So same for your students.
다 데나라야 제수가 mambu지게 송야나나와 관계 야부 정서에서 말라야 선센트비 값이 제고다 뭐 냠트 제바이나 야고도 세대 mambu성도 다른 자리에 승아서 제고도 냠트 제바이면 호트tin 주시지 됐던 그 데나라 주는 비 주시지 특거와 다땡아 승 두스라 통고도 스케차 mambu 제바이나 제수 고가나 틀레츠게 강고여서 와스 칼레 제거서고노 찬도 두스.
So I'm going to teach you one more sign language word. So I'm going to say thank you for sharing being honest with your feedback. This is thank you.
다 단다 양을 제출라 다케 되게 인스로네 제수게 삼츠티 지금 원고 maybe going to 세발라 투지치에스타 투지치게 아니 다케티카레스 스탄발엔 두시에데 투치레스.
Yeah, not this, not this, but this.
다다데 아크템버도 저런 딘데 마르스 투치라는 두시에스.
Okay. I know.
You need to bring me over here.
So we have a comedian here in our audience. Okay. It's stuck forever. Okay, so we want you to recall, it's not translated into Tibet. I just want to remind you about, you had your science pedagogy proposals and projects, and so Tenzin, Sonam and I, and also Kelsey, I think who else? That's it. And so the three of us, we created a rubric to evaluate your work.
Data the jury of my jelly judge tagging Rajla Bachon Capsara, the Mampuchoria. The Dicare system Chesuge, Alfonso Ripatan Dreve, Chesuge, the Chernyansia Buyarwa, Susuge, Chershigi, Yenshuya Buyarwa, the deep Buyatilaya, Jachete de Tantaco, Dam Madam Tion. The Dicare system Balaya, Chesuge, Chernyante Buyatilaya, Nengatsugu, Jachetraya, Pechotanage, and the Missy Standard, getting Sonamche, Nache, and again casing also some shaggy Dipechotan data, Chesuge, and Chernian and Yenshutilaya Jachete.
And I'm not sure if we shared the rubric with you, but we shared the criteria.
That they are remove the Chesula dus Tam Yume Trangamandus, Musi Rimaganzarwa, Imana Delaya Chachin Karikarisunga, Musi Chachin Karisangur Sajigora, criteria Chachinterwa, Sesiki Chachinte Chesula dus Tesha, yes.
So most of you did pretty well on this part.
Hata Nitan Di Kapsurwa, Detalaya Chesuge Yawana Shas. Do you want to briefly just mention those?
Yep, we can do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So because they're in English only.
Yeah.
So the criteria on this page are learning objectives, instructional materials, and then the instructional resources. That means the materials you will use to actually teach the lessons.
다 데라 요베게 다 그거 자신데 깔깔에서는 담보들라야 수수기 시중거 무이 와 니바들라 깔에서 담발라야 선선 티하게 아니 지금 주차 쓰거로 왔다 주차 됐지 아니 선바들라야 선선 티 트리비 값을 배셔 동하게 당가 주고 단다나 콘탄 롱소 쓰거로 제시기 이체들레스.
So you can see the categories here are minimal or basic, which is the same as below expectation, proficient, which is the same as meeting meeting expectations, and advanced, which means exceeding expectations.
다 딜라야 코게 유아치 당스거로 다 베이직 시스템 발라야 지 다 망시도 레샤스로와 네 심바틀라 프로피션틀라 찰롱 와칭두스 다 타마틀라야 네 코 찰리 게어레샤스 당경가 수셰바 나싱게 리와 다 당부팀바네 리와 터마쳔 바체 아니 리와 터총와체 아니 리와 레 게와세 드레스.
Do you think, should I explain?
Good. Yeah,
Keep
I think
going,
that's
or
good.
is this enough?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
enough. Yeah.
You also did well on the 5E format. So here we were looking at each individual E. So engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. And these we classified also on below expectation, meeting expectation, exceeding expectation.
티나 생게 제속에 양 단다게 전년이나 다바인바는 데이터라야 야고 제샤 띵아수 이가 댕게 티 배초당 하더와 다 담보템 바는 가수 그냥 식제 되게 제라야 소습제 되게 제라 데셰제 되게 제라 지셰제 되게 제라야 탕제른 탕제와지 여러와 데이터라야 세수페야 데라야 야분나샤 티양 코나 름바섬라 게샤요레스 리와테 마총와 리와테 총와 리와리 게와스 름바섬라 이샤요레스.
But there was one section that most of you did not do well. Anybody have some ideas?
이마나 다 제수데라야 양코 야부치 메사게 양코 딘센치두스 다테 관계 인사레스.
On the next page, but don't look at the slide. Just, I want you to think about.
다테 테마 지마티 간라 예스 메테 마타스. 제슈 assessment.
Evaluation of whom? Of the student, of yourself, right. That's why we're spending so much time right now on this.
Ras the kasa evaluation senje chimbana senje telaya susu la jiachorwa the apuchima dus tin stambala tandanga sunde kan chuma yes.
So of the 12 groups in here, one group actually included this. So I've asked them, maybe they can raise their hand, the moon group. Yeah.
Moon group?
Moon, yeah, phases of the moon. Raise your hand, the four of you.
데 다와가 펜드 콜라 진치거래 코수기 단단데다 수수라야 탕제 제치거와 데데 직산도 서로 거 주니기 나네. 데마시 젠다 찍을래 주문도스.
So this group actually included this requirement in the proposal. So they did a nice job. I think I would like to thank them because out of the 2 years, they were the one group that actually had a very detailed plan for this.
다 코술라야 투치시기 예스 코술로 카데로 단다가 수다 트치로 니라야 두스타 때 천년대 지지 제수 주요르다 로 니기 나네 다 디게 콜라야 트지우트냐 수술라야 탕제지가 저라 니 탕제 탄데베게 트지우트냐 코수 치퍼레샤스.
Okay, so when you do well, that comes with some consequences. That means that everybody else can come and ask you for some advice on how to improve theirs.
다 야부치요 바나야 델라야 코 제라야 진리 마부용 그레스 다 시카레 시스템발라야 네 젠다 로코 젠다 마부용 데타 알레데 야부치 친도 왔다 가서 예제 땅고나 가레렌도 셀레 양셰술라야 저 마부용 그레스.
Okay, so in this section, we've given 3 possibilities. You can do all 3. One is self-evaluation, one is peer evaluation, and one is student evaluation to help the teacher become a better teacher.
단들라야 담가슴 직대요레스 단나가서 현재 탕제 디게 값으로와 시카레 시스템발라야 수수라 탕제데 지제녀데 시스템 수수게 나냠스고라 록발라야 탕제데제 디제라야 홉트라야 탕제데 홉트 신둠도 때타드로와 데달라 텐데다 수카레 시스템발라 수수고 콘센트리아게 트답데 예제 타드로와.
So for self-evaluation, the example that we included is how can you see how you're teaching? You won't know if you're teaching. So if you record yourself or ask some colleague to come and record with the phone, you can record part of your teaching and then after the class go and review the video of yourself and evaluate your own teaching.
aha ta tanda ranje thanje de ke se chachin chi kare zo ore se stambala susu ko honsen trepate ne ko nyen zoro chi se sha yore sta ti ba na susu na de na rokpa chi la ya susu honsen trepik up se ta ko nyen ta chi ro lo nyen zu chi ani ti je la ya honsen tunu ko je la ya ne yang che lo nyen te la ti de te ani susu kana ro chi chong dum de te ta yore.
Peer evaluation, I think you're familiar with. We've been giving one another feedback today, so that's the same thing. Asking somebody to come and sit in your class or review your lesson plan and give you some input.
aha ta nanyen chapsha sa de tanda de na chi de batere sta susu honsen trepate la ya ne rokpa la ya samsa song chi ga re susu honsen gi lapshi gi changgo chi go ro te yang rokpa la ta chi de te te la ya ko samsa song chi de ta ya ji ta chi go ro te tanda nanyam gi thanje de res.
And finally, you can ask your students for feedback. Now, I know this is very, some teachers don't feel comfortable asking the student for feedback about their performance because they feel like they are, you know, there is a, I don't know how to say, power different hierarchy, that they are, you know, higher ranked than the students. So it feels uncomfortable to ask the student for feedback on your performance, but that is up to you and your philosophy as a teacher.
aha ta thamate lobthik sane gonsu songa lanch gorwati kalana lobthik la ya ta ngarang ko thomchen thya tina na yago kar chong se yago kom chong mando yaje kar ta andu se lobthik ko gonsu ti la teres ta ti yang susu ge lobchen thya ge lobthik ge gigin susu ge yang kar su gore ta samle tang tang la ya ra le gres khashi ba na tin do chi ya diu yo ma res ji ta rimba ma sona ji lobthik te ma do chi che susu do chi stambala ya ne ma ni Tambalaya diu me pagi ne tang tinda chongu yores tati ya mi susu garge samlu tang tang la rali yores.
I never ask my students, did I do a good job or bad job? Because the students are not trained in pedagogy. How will they know what is good pedagogy? Instead, I ask them, what did you learn and how did I help you learn? What more can I do to help you learn?
Ta ngarange lobthusula tra kartugo reses tambalangi kari yapuche song kari yapuchi ma song tinado keche trigmes karchila pa imbana lobtu khus imbana lobtu rupa ge kolaya ngutechi yo marwas kusu jongdar thoyo marwa tate raya ya tra kari trigo ses tambalaya chorangi tan zanda de juli de ta kari chi jang imbes wa kari chi she song dilatene dete ta chorangi di shiala ya jangala ya ngaranga ropa chi kari chi dus ta tra te tang yes.
So the final component on the rubric, we won't talk about today, but I want to remind you, is broader impacts. These are your plans to support other monastic teachers or to share your results so that they can improve their own work. How are you helping your colleagues improve their teaching?
Ta tanda de thamade ka system ba tanda nga sugun zender thyatina yo maris ya ka system bala eta ko broad impact system bala ya judge wi gi shikin se ko ta tanda de chi wala tanda ta judge sala kan sunyo tuk sare picha shapai baina ane susu gi che patela tene dete ane jendala rokpa chiare ane gomba jembala rokpa chiare otina o ta judge wi gi shikin ko teres.
So when you look at your proposal, you can say, I've written a lesson on vision and light, and I'll share that with my colleagues. That even just sharing your curriculum is broader impacts.
Ta ko ja chi gi shikin system ba kala na picha sha baina charange ta we ta ane thonsor ko la ya ane thonseng ge chang go chi chi ne tik la thamate la ya ta kas tri baina ngarang ge chi sha yes ne de ngarang ge le ro jam ta ta nyam la ya ten chi kusle peche tang ge chi ga in sa baina ta chi ta kana la ba cheng ko rang ge ta ja chi gi shikin gi khonsun du store du yores.
Okay, so the next 3 slides, which you can see, I'm not going to talk about them, but I want you to look at them, are from the equip rubric, which you saw last year, I think. Last year we described this.
Ta de ka de je la yang su de masum chi es ta de ka re sana nanglo che su thong yore ro equip le ge mu se ri mu chi yore de na na yore sta de se shu jag mes de la yes.
So one of them is on curriculum.
Chi ka na lhap shi res.
One is on your instruction.
La res.
And one is on your assessment strategies. So what we would like you to do now is to use the next half hour in your group and to think about how you can improve that section of your proposal for self-evaluation. Maybe you'll use one of these rubrics in your plan.
다 수수게 루카크나라 야로와 딘슨 시다바지 다 하퍼드 단다 self evaluation 수수 탕제지 지야조로와 데일라야 데비게 아니 미세르무디 여지 강아지 타야두테 타로치스 group meaning in the 12 group.
Yes, in their 12 groups. Yeah, so some tables have two.
다
new
루카
grant.
루카 사바스고로와다 달루 제쪽에 천년지에 부여로와 어디시 샤데던 루카 종류도가 요야로와 어디게 나네 지로체스.
Okay?
This
Okay, okay.
they need to improve the rubric for self evaluation.
Their plan for self-evaluation.
Okay. Rubric or plan for the self
But the plan, that's it. They can use these rubric in their plan.
Okay. 다단다로와 수수 탕제 지야라야 철시 지요로와다 제초데 다티 열제 땅에레스와 다 열제 땅에라야 데라야가 수게 디 가사 미세 리무지 도아데 데로와 어디 페초 땅나는 그요레스.
I see some tired faces. If you need to touch the sky and touch the ground before you work, then please do that.
Good idea.
Yeah.
I think everybody needs
Okay,
to do that.
everybody stand up. You're going to touch the